But listen, Miss Pugh, don't speak over me. Miss Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen, Miss Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me.
Where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
You can go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
All right, everyone. Today, we're watching a tense courtroom moment between a very firm judge and a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen. This individual came prepared with a small piece of paper containing some familiar legal arguments often associated with the sovereign citizen movement. It seems she expected to make a dramatic exit after presenting her case, but things didn't quite go as planned. Regardless of your views on these tactics, this hearing definitely takes some unexpected turns. Let me know in the comments what you think about how this all unfolds. Let's dive in and see how it plays out. Next.
Good morning. Are you Janetta Pugh?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand.
Beneficiary of that estate.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar page, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right. So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest.
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself? Or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you? Or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel, defective defense.
It's overruled.
Okay.
You're running out, aren't you?
No, it's fine.
Hearing is definitely something else. It's clear that the judge is keeping her composure while the defendant is passionately presenting her case using arguments commonly associated with the sovereign citizen movement. You can tell the judge is just patiently waiting for her to finish, knowing the legal process doesn't work the way the defendant seems to believe. It's honestly fascinating how some people really think they've uncovered a legal loophole that overrides established law. Courts have consistently ruled that phrases like "I don't consent" or "I don't recognize this court" don't dismiss charges or negate jurisdiction. That's just not how the system works. What really surprises me is how far this person has gone down this path. She actually seems polite and respectful in how she addresses the court, even saying "Your Honor." But it's also clear that she's in over her head and grasping for anything that might work. It makes you wonder what her thought process was leading up to this. Let me know what you think, what makes someone go all in on this strategy. It's one thing to read about it online, but actually using it in court is a whole different level. Alright, let's jump back into the hearing. This situation is far from over.
So here's the thing, Miss Pugh. I appreciate your position, but listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Miss Pugh, don't
with my
speak over me.
incarceration, respectfully, Your Honor, with my incarceration being
Miss
so-
Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on, listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why, is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointed
Go back.
agents.
You already said that, and that's overruled.
Is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
Yeah, that last hearing was definitely something, but hold on, because it's not over yet. This sovereign citizen actually returns for a follow-up hearing. And of course, I've got that one ready for you too. Honestly, at this point, the judge deserves serious credit for her patience. Handling a case like this, especially when someone is relying on misunderstood or unconventional legal arguments, has to be incredibly challenging. It's like trying to have a legal debate with someone who's following an entirely different rule book, but the judge keeps her cool and stays focused, which I really respect. She's firm and direct when needed, but also surprisingly composed and respectful throughout. Let me know what you think about how the judge is handling all of this personally. I think she's doing a great job managing a tough situation. Now, let's jump into the next hearing and see if things get even more intense from here. Let's dive in.
Perfect. So, Miss Pugh, Mr. Jeffries has been appointed to represent you. He's just been given, he's trying to get caught up real quickly on all the information and the discovery in your case. I'm going to reset your case so that he can get all of that. Once he gets it, he'll be out there to go over it with you, and we'll see if we can get an announcement at the next court date.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree to comply with any of your appointed court agents, considering that their first duty is to the state.
I understand. We've had this conversation before.
Confidential. And for the record, I'll be representing myself.
So if you want to represent yourself, there's some things. Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me. If you want to represent yourself, then there is a process that we have to go through, and we'll do that today. If that's what you want to do, we'll get your case set for trial and we'll go forward that way. It is highly inadvisable for you to represent yourself. Lawyers have many, many years of training. They understand the law. They understand how a trial works, because here's what happens. When you're in a trial and you represent yourself, you're expected to know and follow all of the rules of evidence, all the rules of procedure. And so you're really at a disadvantage if you don't know those things. And so you have to do everything just like the assistant district attorney would. And if you don't, you're going to be in front of a jury and it's going to show, and it's just not going to be, it usually does not work out in your benefit. But I have to go through with you some questions first before we do that. And then if you still want to do that, then there's a couple of things couple of options, and we'll go over those as well. Okay. So I am supposed to ask you, I'm going to go through these questions. I need you to answer them if you want to represent yourself, because this is required. All right. So have you ever studied the law? Okay. Have you ever represented yourself before in any kind of criminal matter? Okay. Do you understand the charges against you?
I know we've been accused of.
Okay. And so do you know, and we've gone over before, I think, what the range of punishment is if you're found guilty on a jury? Do you know what that is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up here. We'll go over that again as well. The date of that allegations from June 22nd of 2021. And what that means is if you're found guilty, that the range of punishment that the jury could give you is between 2 years as a minimum punishment up to 10 years in prison, anywhere in between. Do you understand? And you answer out loud just for the record.
Do I understand? No, I don't understand.
What do you not understand about that?
Called that moment before she even said it. These sovereign citizen cases have become so familiar. It's like I can predict the script. After reviewing so many of these hearings, it really feels like they're starting to take over my brain. Breaking down these cases every day definitely takes a toll. But it's always fascinating to see how these situations unfold. It's unfortunate, though, because many of these individuals seem genuinely misinformed about how the legal system works. On top of that, these cases can place an unnecessary burden on public resources. Courts and law enforcement already have limited time and personnel, and these kinds of arguments often slow things down. Interestingly, in this hearing, it looks like she didn't bring the same written script she had last time. Maybe that time in county custody gave her a chance to memorize it, or B, she's shifting tactics. Either way, if she decides to represent herself, the outcome might not go in her favor. Self-representation in serious cases is always risky. Alright, let's jump back in and see if she chooses to defend herself or if a public defender steps in. This next part should be telling.
I don't understand, Your Honor.
So here's the thing. If you want to represent yourself, by law, you have to be able to understand these things. Otherwise, I've got to appoint an attorney for you. So you can't just say, I want to represent myself because I don't like the attorney or I don't like the process. This is the process that you're in. You live in Texas, you live in the United States. This is the law that applies to your case. So what do you not understand about the range of punishment if you're found guilty? And I'd be glad to explain it.
I don't understand because I haven't did anything wrong.
That's what a jury's for, right? And so if you say you're not guilty, then you go in front of a jury and they determine after they listen to the evidence if you're guilty or not. That doesn't have anything to do with if they find you guilty, you understanding that they could send you to prison for between 2 years and up to 10 years. Do you understand that part? What are you, yes or no? No, you don't understand that. So, Ms. Pugh, it's my understanding, I'm not going to allow you to represent yourself because you don't understand the law and the process. So we're on question number 4 out of 15 that I'm supposed to ask you. So Mr. Jeffries is going to stay on your case.
I don't know when Mr. Jeffries on my
I don't care what you want at this point. You can't do it. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. I'm done. Go back with the bailiff.
He's not on my case.
Go back with the bailiff.
He's not on my case.
Welcome to the criminal appointment list.
Yeah, fun, Judge.
This was not meant to be any kind of punishment, I promise. So Mr. Jeffries, get ready like you would. Probably it's going to go straight onto a jury. And we'll just get it figured out that way. All right.
To say, I think this judge did a solid 10 out of 10 job. Let me know if you disagree. But in my opinion, she really went above and beyond to ensure the defendant got a fair hearing. Before things finally escalated, the level of patience she showed was honestly impressive. I know I probably would have lost my cool within 10 minutes, but she kept her composure throughout. At the same time, it's a bit tough to watch these kinds of cases unfold. You can tell the judge was really trying to give this person every opportunity to explain herself, but we all kind of saw where this was headed. Also, my apologies to anyone who felt like they lost a few brain cells watching this. I get it. These sovereign citizen arguments can be hard to follow, and at times, pretty cringeworthy, but they're also strangely fascinating. It's like watching someone try to talk their way out of a corner with arguments that just don't hold up. Entertaining, frustrating, and wild all at once. Let me know in the comments what you thought about how the judge handled this one. Personally, I think she stayed calm, firm, and professional the whole way through. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. I'll be posting new content every day, so stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everyone.